building up a retargeting campaign that actually works. Now, one of the things we've always established, perhaps you've always heard, is that the money is in retargeting. But how does that actually work, and what should you be saying in your retargeting ads? Today, I want to be able to share with you the script, the structure, the follow-up, so that you understand what it takes to build up a profitable retargeting campaign. Just quickly explain to us what your business model is and a bottleneck or a challenge that you might be facing right now.
I've worked in personal development for 20 odd years, and my business model is basically helping people get out of their own way, helping them with their confidence and helping them be more successful. The product at the moment is a 7-week course, taking them through a journey. And at the end of the 7-week course, the strategy is to sell them up to then a 7-month course. So to give them value through the 7 weeks so that they can see the model in play, get the transformations that they want, and then hopefully enjoy that so much that they want to stick around, and I can go deeper into each of the elements. And the course is called 7 Ways to Confidence and Success System. In terms of getting results, we're very much at the beginning of the stages for me. I've created a webinar, and I've run it a few times, without traffic, just making sure that, the system works and I can deliver it. The main thing I want to do is get people to this webinar. So that's the goal that I'm looking to do now. Obviously, I've got some other funnels in place, and I'm just starting to test them with traffic a little bit. I've got a checklist, and I've also got a free course, which is where it says the B one there. That's the checklist. And then I've also got like a 7-day free course as well to help people with their confidence and self-esteem. So basically, I want to build rapport and get people on my webinar, sell them into my 7-week program. And then from that, take them on a deeper journey so I can help them go deeper into their transformation.
When I'm looking at this, the first thing I'm always thinking about is, where are my ideal audience currently congregating online, so that I can speak to them and enter a conversation that they are already in. Because the end result is on building confidence as well as helping them get success. Here's the thing about success. Success is a little bit broad. In fact, it's too broad. And most people, when they're thinking about investing in something, it's either because it's a specific solution to a problem, or it's a great patent interrupt. So as an entrepreneur who's thinking about signing up for this webinar, I still don't know what is the specific payoff that I will get by signing up for this. I want to be able to speak to my ideal audience that way and have that specificity, because that's when people will relate. That is when they will be nodding their heads. I want you to picture them reading that thing and then nodding their head saying, yes, that's me. I've always wanted to launch my course, but I always felt like I wasn't good enough. Yes, I always wanted to publish that book, but I always felt like nobody would listen to me because I'm not known. Yes, I've always wanted to speak on stages, but I never had the confidence within me. When I read this, it tells me that the person who would resonate with this message, chances are, is probably not a very successful entrepreneur right now. Because a person that registers for this is somebody that has not achieved their goals. They are probably negative in their thinking, that causes them to want to sign up for this, right? Because if somebody is positive and optimistic, then when they read this, they would feel like, oh wait, this might not be for me because I'm a pretty optimistic person that is comfortable with the uncomfortable. How can I tweak the messaging so that people who are also somewhat successful and are also thought leaders and influencers, how can I tweak that so that the messaging is also applicable to them? Now, unless the business model is to start off by working with people with this, but then be aware that chances are the ones that are doing somewhat well and crushing it, they will not be registering for this webinar. And in fact, that could be your ideal customer, because these are the people that have money. Could you walk me through and share with us the more successful clients who started with you? What position were they in?
Most successful sort of people would be like CEOs, or they are, like a successful thought leader.
And with these CEOs, what did you work with them on?
So they might come when they're in a lot more pain, when they've got anxiety, or they're feeling stressed out, or they're not feeling, aligned, or they want to do something at the next level, but they're not doing it. So for example, it might be a 7-figure business owner in one niche, but actually you want to launch into another niche. Or you're successful running your company, but now you want to start speaking in front of people because you're now supposed to do that because your company's now reached a certain level. So you're supposed to be out more, but you don't typically do that.
Okay, so I would come from the angle of how I helped CEOs and high performers and thought leaders leverage and crush their day using this proprietary 3 or 5-step process. Okay, if that is part of your thing, right? And then you're going to reveal that. But ultimately, the other thing that is missing in the webinar is just statements to now attract these thought leaders and show them it's also applicable to them, and not just people who want to work on their confidence. Because chances are a CEO that's somewhat successful will be confident, and the last thing you want is to repel them from registering for the webinar because of the languaging being used. I made this mistake when I was first starting out, and I wanted to serve as many people as I can. My message was, I want to teach people, do what I do, and earn income online. But what I didn't realize is because of my messaging, I was attracting a lot of biz ops seekers. And usually biz ops seekers are broke. They've got no money, and they're also the hardest audience for me to serve. Because in order to help them transition, go to the next level, I got to help them change their beliefs, their mindset, how they think, to go from zero to making their first dollar. However, when I tweaked the messaging and I made it about sales processes and automation and systems, but of course, at the same time, I still would be talking about making sales and generating income online. I was now able to serve a much more sophisticated audience, an audience that would be not biz ops seekers, but rather entrepreneurs. And just because of that, everything changed for me. What does this mean for all of you? It means that right at your sales process, just based on the messaging that you use, it will already determine who you attract. If you know that there is a specific audience that you don't want to serve, then be aware of the messaging in your sales letter, in your sales video, on your webinar registration page, because that will determine who it is that will be attracted to that messaging. I just want to make it clear that the number one thing that you'll need to work on is actually not the ads, okay? The issue that you have right now is not a traffic problem, it is a funnel problem. It is the languaging on the webinar registration page, and you need to get that to a minimum, a bare minimum of 30% before you really go hard on the ads, okay? And your first ad would be, hey, this is Lee here, and I noticed you visited my webinar, but somehow you did not sign up. I don't do these webinars often. My next one is happening soon, and if you don't want to miss out again, then click on this link below to join us for our next one. Okay, that's your first one. Visited but did not register. Second one would be registered but did not show up. I recently did the webinar that revealed 7 ways to rockstar confidence. And when I did the webinar, I didn't seem to see your name in the participant list. What happened? Did life get in the way? Right? And this will sometimes freak people out. They'll be like, how does this guy know? Right? But super powerful. And that is when you'll create this second audience, which is registered but did not show up. Now, as you go deeper and deeper, the sample size will become smaller. Chances are these next few audiences will be very small, that Facebook will not run ads just yet because the sample size is too small. But then your third one would be obviously attended but did not go to checkout page. So this is when you create an ad campaign that says, I saw you in a webinar and I hope you got value from the webinar, and I realized that you did not invest in the 7-week coaching program. Now I understand perhaps you could be skeptical, but here's what so-and-so was also skeptical before she trained with me, and this was the result that she's generating right now, okay? So for this third custom audience, this custom audience is now aware, okay? Now, Eugene Schwartz, in 1960, he wrote this book called Breakthrough Marketing. This is one of the most evergreen marketing principles you'll ever learn that is highly applicable in the online world. So what this book talks about is, the 5 stages of market sophistication. But ultimately, what it really says is you want to talk to your audiences based on whether they are unaware, problem aware, solution aware, or product aware, or totally aware. It means that when somebody has attended your webinar but didn't buy, they are product aware. And when somebody is product aware and if they didn't buy, it means that they're just looking for a deal. Somebody that is at the product aware stage, that is when you can run ads that is testimonial based to them. So the biggest mistake marketers make when it comes to testimonial and ads on Facebook is they take an ad and they put a testimonial on that ad and they run it to cold audiences, and they wonder why either their Facebook account gets shut down because they get negative feedback or nobody buys. That's what happens when you take a testimonial and you run it as an ad to cold audiences that's unaware. Because when a cold audience is unaware of what you do, they're not problem aware, they're not solution aware, they're not product aware. When they see a testimonial, it doesn't make sense. For the people that attended your webinar but did not buy, this audience will have your highest ROI in your Facebook ad campaign. This is when you will take all of the testimonials that you've ever done and you are then going to rotate them and just overwhelm them with social proof until your audience goes,
you know what, surely all these people can't be lying.
That's how I utilize testimonials. Okay, now your role as marketers is really to be a testimonial collector. And you can collect testimonials when you're able to help somebody else get results. So if you are starting out and you don't have any testimonials just yet, be willing to work with others, even if it's for free, to gather these testimonials, because these will be the most powerful things, assets that you'll be able to use in your marketing. That's your third audience. Your third audience are people who landed on the webinar, attended it, but did not buy. And that's when you can just rotate social proof after social proof. On top of that, for those of you that don't have social proof just yet, that is when another type of ad that you can run, if you don't have any testimonials, that would be just as effective, would be selfie mode videos that looks totally unprofessional, answering a very specific objection by first listing down all of the different objections that they might have. If it's the price, talk about the price. So one ad would be, so I understand that $14.97 could be a lot of money, but let me ask you, so sure, $14.97 could be a lot of money, but how much is it worth to you if I could help you publish your book that you've always wanted to publish? How much is that worth? If I could help you achieve that goal that you've constantly procrastinated, whatever it might be, how much is that worth? If the objection is, I'm too old, I'm too young to do this, I don't have the technical skills, I'm introverted, I lack confidence, that's when you could say, hey, this is Lee here again, and the reason why you're watching this video right now is because you attended my webinar and somehow you didn't take the leap. And perhaps you thought it's because speaking in front of people requires you to be an extrovert. Now, if this was me, I would be like, what if I told you that I managed to master this skill set and I'm really an introvert trying to play an extrovert's game? And what I can tell you is that being good in front of people and being on stages and being on video is a learnable, trainable skill. And in the next 7 weeks, I would love to be able to coach you and train you how to get past these fears, because these fears can be conquered. And you could tell a story behind it. So then that's when you can rotate between videos that answer a certain objection with testimonials, which is what we do in our retargeting campaigns. Okay, so for the rest of you, if you don't have a webinar funnel right now and you have any other funnel, just think about what is the next step of your funnel. So if let's say you have an application funnel, same thing, you create a custom audience, people who landed on your application page but did not schedule an appointment. Hey, this is Peng Joon here, and I noticed that you were on my page but somehow you did not schedule an appointment with us. Okay, understand something. This is not a sales call. The purpose of the call is to show you we can help you by actually helping you. In this free 30-minute strategy session, I'll walk you through a game plan on what it is that you need to be doing if you want to get more clients and get more leads. And at the end of the call, if you decide to work with us, that's great. But if not, that's cool too. And if you'd like to schedule a call with us, the link is below. Right? So your retargeting ad is always just moving them to the next step of the sales process. If it's a free plus shipping, it could be testimonials, it could be on answering a certain objection, it could be telling a story. So it's always, again, moving them to the next part. Okay, so finally, number 4, people landed on your checkout page but did not make payment. So that would be the 4th custom audience. So you will set these custom audience up initially, understanding that the 3rd and 4th audience, usually at the start, you will not have much data because there'll be a lot at the start, but it becomes smaller and smaller. And to get that audience size bigger, you need to fill up the funnel at the top, but only do it and go hard only when the registration rate is at least 30% and when your conversion's in place. As we scale, as we hit a brick wall and we want to get more in the campaign, that is when at the top, to build up the warm audience so that we can retarget them later, that's when you can choose video views and engagements. And when a lead is hot, when they're product aware and our funnel is proven to be profitable, we want to send as many people to that offer as possible, as many eyeballs, because we know it converts. That is when we tell Facebook, you know what? Screw the conversions because I know it converts. Just send as many people to that offer as possible. And this is great for the retargeting custom audience. Don't just begin with the benefits, especially if you're running to a cold audience. Display value first. Show them that you can actually help them by helping them, and then lead to the webinar. Well, I hope you enjoyed the behind the scenes to this coaching call. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below what your biggest takeaway is. And as always, be sure to smash the like button. It does help the channel out a little bit. And to subscribe to this channel if you want to be notified of future videos just like this one. Now, some of you asking me, how can I be part of this process? How can I ask you questions? How can I have you coach me or mentor me? We want to make sure that we are working with the people that's the right fit. You'll need to fill up a form. There's a link right below this video. Somebody on my team might give you a call to interview you to see if they're right fit for each other. And if you want to apply and see if you're a good fit, then all you need to do is click on this link in the description box below and my team will be in touch with you.